Imagine this. Two people are having a heated argument, the atmosphere full of tension. But suddenly a third person appears, not to mediate, but to speak up on behalf of one side, leaving you confused and unsure of what is happening. The feeling at that moment is very strange. You can sense that something is off, but you can't exactly pinpoint what is making you uncomfortable. This is one of the most sophisticated manipulation tactics, triangulation, also known as bringing a third person into the matter. Simply put, triangulation is when someone does not directly communicate or resolve an issue with you, but instead involves another person as an intermediary or takes a side. They use this third person to apply pressure, making you feel isolated, uncertain about your own emotions and viewpoints, and even indirectly controlled without realizing it. The way triangulation works is very clear. When tension begins to arise in the relationship between two people, instead of having a straightforward conversation, one person will bring a third person into the situation. This could be to badmouth, to seek opinions, or to compare. At that point, the psychological pressure comes not only from the other party, but also from the newly involved person. You will feel like you are being ganged up on, or at least that you no longer have your own voice. This makes it easy for you to be led, lose confidence, and gradually be psychologically controlled. We easily encounter triangulation in everyday life without even realizing it. It's as simple as in love. Your partner often mentions their ex. I find my ex very understanding, unlike you. Every time there is a conflict, instead of resolving it with you, they bring up the ex as a standard for comparison. Or in the family, parents often compare you to other children. Look, child A is so good at studying, why aren't you like them? This is not just a comparison, but also a way to bring a third figure in to put pressure on you. Even in friendship, this situation is not uncommon. Sometimes a friend badmouths you to someone else, and then that person comes to talk to you, playing the role of a mediator or a neutral advisor. But in reality, they are just tools for the manipulator to stay on the sidelines, avoid direct confrontation, yet still achieve the goal of putting pressure on you. So why is this tactic so effective? Because it strikes at the deep instinct within each person. The fear of being abandoned, the fear of falling behind, the fear of losing value in the eyes of others. When placed in a situation of comparison or the feeling that someone else might replace us, we easily fall into a state of insecurity, wanting to prove ourselves or please the other person to avoid being left out. Meanwhile, the manipulator, the one standing in the middle of the triangle, benefits. They not only avoid facing the problem directly, but also maintain control as you constantly feel insecure, always needing their recognition or acceptance. There are some clear signs to recognize that you are a victim of triangulation. First is constant comparison. You are always reminded of another person as a standard, a rival, or an alternative model. Second, communication between you and the other person is no longer direct, but often has to go through a third party or is influenced by the perspectives and emotions of outsiders. Finally, there is a feeling of insecurity. You always think that if you don't follow their wishes, someone else will take your place, and your affection or position is always implicitly threatened. So how can you escape or avoid being drawn into this triangular whirlpool? First, stop comparing yourself to others immediately. You don't need to become anyone other than yourself. Don't let their words trap you into competition or proving your worth. Second, boldly ask the other party to communicate directly with you, resolving issues clearly without intermediaries or third parties. If someone keeps involving others in matters between the two of you, ask directly. Why don't we talk directly? Finally, set clear boundaries. You have the right to refuse being pulled into unnecessary conversations with outsiders, and the right to protect your emotions and personal limits. Remember, you absolutely have the right to step out of that toxic triangle. No one can define your worth based on others. Don't let yourself get stuck in the manipulator's psychological game. Stand firm, protect yourself, and seek healthy, respectful, and honest relationships. If you find these shares useful, don't forget to subscribe and follow the upcoming video series to together identify and overcome psychological manipulation tactics in a smarter and more proactive way.